Notorious, so notorious.
It's Friday night, and the Posse's back. Deep dives, local vibes, and headlines that matter, or totally don't. So crack a beer, crank it up. This is the NFNP. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but this is officially season 2
Of what?
of our podcast.
I guess new year, so it's a new season.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know. I had to,
Mm.
I had to create this for the studio or whatever, and I was like, you know what? This is a good time as ever to do season 2, episode
There you go.
1.
There you go.
So yeah,
I kind of like
getting
that.
the gang back together. So
What episode is this?
season
Episode
2,
1.
episode 1.
Yeah, but how many were in the first season?
7,
8, I think,
or
7 or
8.
8. Yeah.
That's a good number for
Yeah.
your first season.
So, yeah, first season, right? Like Breaking Bad, it did 6 episodes. I think The Walking Dead, the first season, 6 episodes, and then they're like, "Oh, this is going to be a success," much like
Hey,
this podcast. And
got
then
brought back.
You go from there. Right. Well, Happy New Year! Happy New Year to you guys.
Yeah, happy new year.
Happy New Year.
How was everybody's Christmas?
Good.
Okay, nothing crazy.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
nothing crazy. I got sick. I got the flu after Christmas.
Mm.
So
That sucks.
I know we were planning on recording, last week. I had
Yeah.
no voice. I couldn't talk. So I was no
That could
voice,
be hard
bad
then.
cough. Yeah. I didn't get it very bad though. Like I didn't have I didn't have fever, didn't have body aches or anything like that. And it's pretty much gone through not necessarily my family. My kids, Caroline, they're fine, but my parents are sick. My brother and his family got it, and they all got it way worse than I did. So I
Before
don't know
you or
what's up
after
with
you?
that. After.
So you gave it to him?
No.
Oh.
So my brother Jonathan, his kids, I think, had it. So like one of them skipped Christmas Eve, but then everybody came over for Christmas, and I think they were the culprit. And then I
Gotcha.
guess
Super
before that,
spreader.
one of the other kids was sick. Yeah. So Christmas turned into a super spreader event. That's right.
And
So,
everybody's fine.
yeah, and
Yeah.
everybody's fine.
You get
And it
over
was
it.
worth it. We had a great Christmas, so I powered through I guess it was 3 shitty days maybe. But
Being
you
sick
know,
is part of life, Some people
it
seem to
is.
forget that. Like,
You know
they
what?
can avoid
And
being sick all the time.
Yeah, and I don't get sick very often, so it's
Me
like when
neither.
I do, it's just like, I'll survive.
I don't think I've actually really been sick in probably, 5 years.
I just had a
Nice.
really bad head cold here a couple weeks ago. It was terrible. But other than in your sinuses and stuff, it wasn't that bad. I mean, still went to the gym
I
and
think the
everything.
worst thing for like a standard illness, obviously you could get crazy, but for a standard illness, I think the worst thing is a sore throat.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it really hurts like every time you swallow,
Yeah,
that's
right.
it. Like that. I mean, that sucks.
But
With
if
a
you have a
constant
fever
cough.
and if you're throwing up and stuff, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I don't
constant
know.
cough too. If you ever have that where
Yeah.
you can't sleep because
Yeah.
you're coughing too much all
Yep.
night.
Now, what's worse?
Yep.
Is it a dry cough or a
Yeah.
mucusy cough?
No, the dry one,
cough.
man. If you can't get anything
dry
out,
cough,
that's terrible.
right? Yeah.
It's actually pretty bad too if it's not even you, if it's like your wife who has it and it's just annoying. You're like,
Mhm.
I can't sleep either.
Right, the whole house is up,
Yeah.
That's right. That
and
is
then you
true.
end up
That
getting
is
it,
true.
so it's like an extended
Yeah.
period of time where nobody can sleep.
100%. Yeah. Well, I couldn't get any sleep during the Christmas break because of the massive news story that hit. And I know you guys
Wait,
know.
Like
even,
what? Is there a big?
Which
was there a
one?
big
Big
was there a
story
big
going?
fraud story or anything like that? It was like major fraud, I think.
Isn't that like all the time?
I know it feels that way, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Like that's with our government, and every other week you're hearing something about how
This is
somebody
like
stole
right in
money
your face,
and got
though,
away with it.
Like this isn't
Say that again?
this isn't dropping out of the news cycle though. I mean, as far as social media and that's concerned, it's sticking around.
Well, and that's what is interesting is that's how this story broke. Social media. And for all of our viewers that if you haven't picked up on this yet, we're talking about the Minnesota daycare center fraud. I don't necessarily want to label it the Somali fraud, but it does
Let's go
kind of
ahead and
seem to be
label it
going
that.
that way. Yeah. I think, and we'll get into some of the stats that I got about this, but I think like of the daycare centers and medical buildings that were busted, like 86% of them are owned by Somali owners, right? So it is interesting. I don't know. You guys have any initial thoughts before I get into the weeds on this?
This the tip of the iceberg, I think.
Yep.
I just don't
We'll
understand
see.
how that even happens and just gets away with it, in the first place, and then just snowballs.
And I'll mention some things in there, but I think you're right. I think the snowballing effect, the fact that they're getting away with it, either they really knew how to game the system, or
I think they were
they're
having
not.
help. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They're not. No, the auditors aren't auditing, or they're just blatantly ignoring what
Or are
they're
they in on it?
seeing.
Are
Well,
there
that's what I
people?
kind of mean, right?
I
Like they're
think
in on it.
everybody's pretty aware
Yeah.
now that Tim Walz is like,
Well,
yeah,
he probably needs to resign in all honesty. And then to go back and think like this is who Kamala picked as her VP. And this is
yeah.
the biggest, I don't want to say the word, the word. I said it in the group chat earlier.
Mhm.
But like he has to be one of the dumbest,
yeah,
most clueless, weirdest
useful
Yeah.
idiot.
people in politics. And he's a useful idiot,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
He's gonna be,
Yeah. And
he's gonna go down in flames, I think.
well, he's a liar. He's been busted lying so many times now, and he got busted lying in leading up to the election about being in Tiananmen Square, about his military service.
The
Now,
military service. Right?
yeah. He's lying about
Just
all that
glossed
stuff.
over all that.
So right. Yeah,
Nobody's gonna
people have
check it.
short memories, but
Yeah.
I tell you. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's
So what
jump
do you
into
think? With his involvement, what kind of penalties do you think he needs to face?
Well, it
Jail.
depends on how much he really is involved, I guess. I don't know. That's the thing. Are they ever going to be able to prove anything?
Right.
They did ask him to come sit in on the House committee, but not until like February. So we've got a long time
Takes
until
too
he
long.
shows up, and that's
Yeah.
if it doesn't get delayed or he doesn't. I don't know how that all works. They do have some Republicans from Minnesota that are going to testify in January, and then they're bringing in the Democrats to come testify on this in February, and that's for the federal House, obviously, the oversight committee.
Problem is
So-
everything moves so slow.
I mean, that's the thing, and the news cycle will change. People will forget about this. It'll get swept
And that's
underneath
what
the
they
rug,
bank on.
probably, and
Yeah.
I think that is what they bank on. And then, of course, they'll label everybody as racist for pointing out this fraud. And Tim Walz already did that. He already said that, like, oh, if you start investigating these Somalians, is it Somalians? Both, either one, I don't
Somalians.
know. Yeah. Okay, if you start investigating them, like you're targeting a specific group, you're white supremacist.
Yeah.
Instantly, white supremacy, right? So, that's the problem.
Yeah, they can
just
call it whatever they
label
want.
you
It's
Maybe
yeah,
it's
they
just
label you a
American.
racist. Well, and I think that's the thing. And okay, so let me get into that. I think there's
deport
I
them.
think there's a lot here, right? So again, we talked about how this broke on social media. So it was this independent journalist, Nick Shirley, that just went out, I guess, maybe on his own. He had some help
Mhm.
from friends or colleagues or whatever. But to expose all this and however many billions of dollars he's saying it was, he tracked this stuff down, reported on it, and it went viral on social media. This wasn't CNN,
Now
it
he's
wasn't
getting
Fox
death threats.
News.
Oh,
Well, I'm sure he is.
He
Of
is.
course he is.
Yeah, he's been showing
Should be in protective custody,
because he's a white supremacist, because he's
Right,
a
of course.
racist, right?
Well, and think
'Cause he
about how
was
much
doing
money
some journalism.
is on the line for those people now with
Yeah.
all the fraud.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
If that all comes to an end,
absolutely.
that's a huge amount of money. They're willing to kill for that for sure. So
And I think that's a good point. I mean, certainly people have killed people for less, but we're talking about billions of
Yes.
dollars.
Yeah,
So yeah. But maybe the damage has been done. We'll see. Here are some facts though about the Somali community. Minnesota, and I think we probably know this, is home to the largest Somali population in the United States. and it is concentrated mostly in the city, in Minneapolis, St. Paul. So I don't know. I mean, they're in on it. That's the thing. Like they're working together,
Yeah, I think so.
Where did they
right?
come in from?
Well, I
Somalia?
mean, you look at St.
Did they come
St.
straight
Louis.
to there? I mean,
Yeah, probably. You
oh,
look at St. Louis, right? And I'm not, I love the Bosnian community, so I'm not in any way saying that
sure.
these two things are
No.
mutually similar or whatever.
Right.
But we have in St. Louis, we have the largest Bosnian community outside of Bosnia, right?
Right.
A ton of
And-
refugees from Bosnia.
Yeah, a lot of refugees, and of course they follow family over, and so like there is a natural progression to these things, and I understand that.
But you know
You
what?
know,
Those guys, I live across the street from a guy who came over back in the 80s, I think, as a
Mhm.
refugee. And he was telling me, like, when his family came over, they had to pay their way. They had to buy the plane
Sure.
tickets to fly on the, whatever aircraft they had them on. Then they were in like these settlement camps for, I think he said, like 2 years. And they
Oh,
had
wow.
to prove that they were going to be, a benefit to bring it in and all this stuff, and that they weren't going to be a burden. They had to pay for all their bills before they got here. That's completely
Sure.
different than what a lot of these people are claiming.
Handouts and
Yeah.
fraud and all that right now, certainly. What's interesting about St. Louis, which is different than Minnesota, St. Louis has some of the best housing markets in the country, lower
Don't tell
tax,
people
things
that.
like that. I know, right? Don't
Don't be
we don't
advertising
want
that to
everybody
anybody.
coming here, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we do need some growth in St. Louis, so I would take a little bit. But yeah, so I think that was one of the advantages and the benefits for the Bosnian community to come to St. Louis. Now, why the Somalian community really picked Minnesota,
Right.
which has high taxes, and it's a good city. I mean, I like Minnesota. I've been up there a couple times, but anyway, but they run a lot of nonprofits. The Somali community runs daycares and these clinics, and they all receive state and federal funds.
Yeah. And why?
So
Why do they receive
Wh-
that? The day.
So yeah, so I'm not 100% sure how all that works. Obviously, they, to your point, Nilla, they say that they're non for profit. They have to say that they have X amount of kids, and then I heard something, and this is unsubstantiated, but something that I heard was that they're working in conjunction with these clinics, and they say that they have their kids diagnosed with autism and things like
Yeah.
that, and then they submit that to the state and to the feds that we have X autistic kids. Well, maybe they're not actually autistic, but if they're claimed as autistic, then they get extra funding to help support other jobs and
Yeah.
more.
I wonder what
specialists.
percentage that is then of these kids that they're claiming have autism now. It's like 90-something percent
right.
of these kids, or
Well,
what? It's
That's
like, come
kind of
on.
how it is about
Yeah.
about any school and
Well,
things
I
like
wonder
that.
how long have these programs even been in place? Like, are these newer programs to get federal funding to daycares?
Well,
and
and
all
what
this?
is interesting is
Probably since
something
COVID.
else that's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
That's what
Something
I'm
that's
wondering.
going out.
Did these kind of get pushed into, is the intention of doing, unscrupulous stuff like this, or is this really a program that they intended to have work? Is
Yeah,
this all
right.
just for fraud?
Well, it does
program
make you
used
wonder.
at
I'm
all?
sure for the most part the intentions are good, right? I'm not gonna
Yeah, depending on who was
label
behind it
everybody
originally.
in government a crook,
Right, sure.
but right, but
I
yeah,
just meant
their
like that
intention was
particular
good, and
thing, like the daycare funding.
right.
You
Well, so
Yeah.
and that's what I was gonna
track
say
that
when you
one
go
thing.
back to the VP debate. Tim Walz is on the debate talking about how easy it is to start and run a daycare in the state of Minnesota. He was bragging about it,
Right.
and
then they don't do
thank
any
God.
checking, like
Right.
on
Right.
any
Yeah.
of this.
No
That's why
auditing.
I feel like that it can't be on the up and up. You're not following through, or are you just that incompetent? I'd highly doubt it.
Right. And then here's what else is interesting. They have dealt with multiple, and I mean Minnesota, daycare fraud cases over the past decade, including falsified attendance and inflated billing. So I guess, to your earlier point, maybe that's something that they're doing. They say that they have 30 kids there when they actually have 3, right? Or 0 is what it looked like.
Oh, yeah, right.
And that they charge whatever X amount of dollars to go, and then they're not charging that much, or they're charging more. I don't know how that all works, so I'm not going to speculate, but then they get more funding because of that. So
It's probably not that hard. You set up a daycare and then you get a couple people in there with kids, but then you see that the forms you got to fill out to the government are easy and they never check on them. You're like,
right.
oh, they just fudge the numbers
Yeah, I got
and they
an
get
extra
extra
kid or
paid.
two here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Then they start
Well, and
realizing how easy it is and they're never checked on. And then they start opening
yeah.
up businesses and
And
then they go to extreme lengths. They just don't even bring the kids in anymore. Now it's just going to be a
so
storefront.
that's
Is it
kind of what we
laundering?
saw.
What?
Well, in a sense, it would
I was gonna say,
be
is it laundering?
it'd be like laundering, like in a sense, maybe not
Are
100.
they
They're not
actually? I
taking
don't think they're actually performing any service. At that point, they're
right.
just
Yeah.
set up
Right.
Right.
as a shell
Right.
just to show, oh, this is the
Mhm.
storefront. This is what we use.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so when Nick Shirley went to some of these daycares, they were, for the most part, I think, completely empty, in the middle of the day. So they had no kids, or they had such few kids that it wouldn't warrant them getting. They were getting millions of dollars every year
And he was
for
asking,
the
like,
last several years.
how can I
Right.
sign my son Joey up? And they're like,
Right. And
no, you
and they
can't.
just said, no, you can't. They're like, no, So one, the question is, why didn't they even indulge him? Was it because he was white?
But
Was
they
it
already knew what he
because,
was trying to do.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they knew
Or
what
they
was
don't
up,
even
but they're
know
not.
what it is. Well,
Yeah. They're
it's-
not taking kids or whatever.
What are you
The
talking
full
about?
max capacity.
No kids work here.
Right.
This
You
is
have
a-
one
this is a
person there to
laundry-
man
this is
the
a fraud,
storefront.
scheme we got
Yeah.
going on. There's
Right.
no daycare
Right.
here.
Well, then
Idiot.
the other thing is there was some new video now of these parents bringing their kids to these daycares for 30 minutes or less and then leaving. So like just enough to like whatever, take pictures or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
So then you start wondering like who is all in on this? Obviously the people running the daycare, but then the parents, they're getting kickbacks. I think that's the thing. Like, oh, just say your kid goes here or sign up your kid, and then we'll give you a kickback.
Yeah, if they get
Yeah.
5,000 a kid, then they get
Right.
a portion
Right.
of that.
Yeah, so it's certainly interesting. And yeah, so they're billing, Medicaid and other state programs. So again, when it comes to autism or special needs and things like that. So yep. All right,
So
what
I
else?
have a
Phil?
theory. I have a theory on the Trump. I think he was aware that all this was going to come out, in my opinion. And I'm kind of wondering now, like looking back, because I was just looking over our taxes, and he did a retroactive tax cut. Did you know that?
Right.
And
Well, that's what he's saying. Is this going to be the biggest?
it's going to be the biggest
yeah.
tax return for people, getting
Right.
checks, right? Most people
Yes.
aren't going to have to pay in. And I wonder if he
Right.
did that in anticipation of this story coming out, because if you hear all these people on, X talking about like we need a tax revolt and all this stuff. Well, it's harder to tax revolt when you're getting paid, right? So you're going to file your
Sure.
taxes, and hopefully in
Right.
this next year, maybe that's his plan, is like in 2026, start arresting people and doing what he said he was going to do,
Yeah.
and deporting all these people, and I kind of see that as his play. I don't know if I'm reading too
Maybe
much
it's his
into
New
that
Year's
or not.
resolution.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, certainly would seem like a
But could you
smart
imagine
play
him saying
politically.
like, oh, all this fraud's going on, and then hey, when you file your taxes, you need to pay some more.
Well, so that's
Trying
the
to
big
get people
thing,
to do that and have all this
and you're
fraud
already
going on.
seeing backlash on social media, in particular of like, why are we paying taxes?
Mhm.
And then there's more awareness of how much we pay in taxes, how often we're taxed. Of course, we have income tax, we have personal property tax that I just paid. Thank you, Duds, for the reminder.
Yeah.
I had the bill sitting there with all my mail and I hadn't done it. So personal property tax, sales tax, death tax, gift tax, real estate tax. I mean, what else? I mean, you're getting
It's on
taxed
everything.
all the time. You get taxed on everything. And then when you're like, wait a minute, they're just stealing our money and giving
Yeah.
it to other people.
Yeah, they're
Like,
not just
I need that money.
inefficient.
My family
It's
needs
not
that
just
money.
waste. They're
Yeah.
Right.
stealing it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's
not
one
like
thing when
this
you're
is going to
seeing
be going to help you in any way. It's
Right.
one thing to pay
Right.
taxes and those go to services or whatever that you
Right.
could qualify for.
Schools or whatever.
It's another that
Yeah.
the money is just completely, disappearing.
Sure.
And it's going to people that hate, they hate Americans and hate
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think there's
It's the biggest
a
slap
point
in
to
the
be
face,
made
you
there
know?
too. Yeah. All right. So yeah, so where is the state oversight? Again, who's auditing this? Why didn't they figure it out? Is it actually incompetence, or are they intentionally being lax? That's kind of what we alluded to before, right? Did they know what was going on? Did
Or
they
are
let
they
it
in on it?
slide? Were they in on it, or were they just really bad at their job?
Well,
You know,
And
or
maybe
that's an
some
easy
of
way
all
out
that,
now.
you know?
yeah. I mean, are these auditors using Windows 95? I don't know. Like, I don't know what the issue is there.
They probably don't have any, you know?
Well, that's the thing. They're probably not doing the work,
They're probably not. They
or
probably just
yeah,
send the money. The federal government probably sends
yeah.
the money to the state, and
hmm
they don't follow up on how it gets spent, with any
Well, because the
auditing
state
that
just
way.
looks at it as free money. They're like, oh, here's
Yeah.
money from
And I guess
the
the federal
Fed,
government says,
and
like,
we're
that's
gonna
under
pass it
your
out to our people,
right. We've
right?
given you that
Yeah,
money, so it's the state's responsibility to spend it as we've said you need to, or
right.
whatever. And
Yeah,
they don't audit that, maybe. I don't know.
yeah.
And then if the state's, you know, not paying auditors to do the same thing, maybe they're just saying, hey, we're going to turn a blind eye to it and send the money out.
Well,
And
isn't that kind of to some degree what happened? Remember during COVID, where these businesses got this money, right, to pay their employees during this time,
Yeah.
and then there was all kinds of fraud and stuff from
Yeah,
like
they
the
were
companies just took
buying
it.
Lamborghinis with
Yeah.
it, and yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and
always.
because they knew that some of them they were loans, but they never had to actually pay the money back, and they knew they weren't going to have to pay the money back,
It's like, are
so
these
that was
people all
part of
just
it.
sitting and wait for new bills to pass and new programs to pop up so they can try and defraud the government? Is that, it's
Maybe,
maybe,
crazy.
yeah,
It's in
maybe,
every single government program, it seems,
and I think that's part of it, right? Like, there's probably fraud in every program, who knows how much, but then they figured out how to do it, and they just keep doing it. And they know that they're never going to get caught. It'd be one thing if we actually hold people accountable.
well, yeah,
People would, and then they send people to prison. They're going to be like, well, wait a minute, I'm not going to do this. They're
it's
going to
not
catch
worth
me.
it, yeah,
But they know that they're not going to get caught, and if they do get caught, they just play stupid,
yeah, slap on the wrist or
or
something.
play the race card, or whatever it is, and then they don't actually nobody ever goes to jail.
Yeah, I think the problem is too much, government programs in general. You just got to eliminate a lot of those because the government's terrible at what it does, and everything it
It's
touches, it
this is
it screws up.
proof. This is proof that the government can't manage their money,
No,
can't
Our money,
manage their
our money,
our money.
yeah,
You're right,
taxpayers'
our
money.
money. Yeah, yeah. They can't manage their own internal systems. They can't manage their people. So it's just proof that big governments
It is bad.
aren't
Yeah,
aren't always the solution. And now this is a little bit of a side topic, but it's January 1st, and that means that Mom Donnie is now the mayor of New York City.
yeah.
And so he came
sworn
out and
in on
said,
the
of course,
Quran. Did you see that?
yeah. Oh, really? No, I
Yeah.
didn't see that. I mean, whatever. That's fine, I guess. Who swore him in? Was it Letitia James?
You know what? I
She
don't
was
know.
definitely there, so I don't know if she swore him in or not. But
I don't know.
I
I
was
saw
like,
it earlier, but I
oh,
can't
Letitia
remember.
James, and now Mom Donnie. And I guess, yeah, I mean, we know he's Muslim, so I guess it makes sense that he would swear in on the Quran.
Right.
I know we're not necessarily used to that per se, but what is interesting? Remember when President Trump got sworn in on this term? He didn't actually put his hand on the Bible, and people threw a complete
Really?
fit.
I don't
Oh, they
remember
threw
that.
a fit.
Huh.
He was like, I forget what he was doing. Maybe he was holding his wife's hand, or he was doing something, but he didn't have his actual hand on
So he
the
had one hand
Bible, and they
up.
were like,
I mean,
yeah.
he probably, even if he did, he would have had his fingers probably crossed behind his back or something,
What did we used to call that? What, like, psych, or doesn't count, or well, we used to say something.
I don't know. There was
but-
something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. All
Psych sounds
right.
good. Yeah.
So overall, though, I don't know that this isn't an anti-Somali thing. I kind of said that at the beginning. This is an anti-fraud conversation. But if you're mad at like that sentence, like if you're one of our listeners and you're mad at this is not anti-Somali, this is anti-fraud, then I think you are part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody should be anti-fraud.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
your money that's
100%
just
agree.
being thrown away.
Yeah.
If
Yeah. And so the other
I
thing
think that's
is,
how you need to judge everything is if the
Yeah.
person's breaking the law, if they're defrauding
Right.
somebody else, that's
Right.
the criminal. And that's People we
Well,
don't.
and
Those are the
wasn't that a
people we
whole
don't
big
want in this country anyway. We don't want
yeah,
criminals
wasn't
here.
that a whole big thing with Biden and when they were prosecuting Trump and all those things? Nobody is above the law
Yeah, right. Except for them.
unless you're not white or
Right.
unless whatever it may be, unless you're a minority, unless unless you're a Democrat.
Now, I would say if you're Somalian and you come to America and you don't love America, then I don't want you here either.
Sure.
Well,
All right.
yeah. If
I'd
you're
say
like a pirate or
anybody who
something.
comes to America to live here needs to embrace America and love America.
Well, I think that's the whole point, right?
Right.
Like,
And
why
if you
would
don't
you
put
come
America
here?
first as your
Well, they
want
want to come here because of the freedom, but then they
'Cause
want to
well,
take advantage of all of
Right.
the tax stuff, basically, and the free money and the, whatever it is that we give them. When we came and support our own people, they're
And that was the
struggling.
thing during the last administration when there was no border protection whatsoever, and we just had droves of people coming over the border from all over the place, not just Mexico, all over. But that's
I
where
mean, where are
they
they
came 'cause
going?
they knew they're getting debit cards.
Yeah,
Well,
right. Free money.
the government would bus them or fly them to wherever they wanted to go. They would just be
there's
like,
not
"Oh,
enough
I have
housing."
family in
Oh,
New
that's
York
all right.
City."
They'll
They
just
were putting them
put
up at
them
the
libraries,
5-star
whatever.
hotels.
Yeah, we did too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
and when
if they're
did it
not if
become?
they're not rented out though, that room at the hotel, if it's not rented out, it's probably a write-off.
No, I'm sure it was great from the hotel's perspective, because I'm sure they're charging the government a full rack rate,
Right, exactly.
It's not like they're getting a discount.
Yeah.
When did it become American to just get handouts? That's what they
Right,
see America as now, is just
Yeah.
a handout. That's why
Yeah,
people
that's
don't
not what
come
this
here.
country was funded on.
No.
No,
So-
of course not. Right.
So that's what we
right.
need to end. We need to end the handouts, and if you want to come to America, that's fine.
Yeah. If you don't want to work and pay taxes, then get the hell out.
Yeah, stay
Yep.
home. Stay where you
Yep.
are.
Well, no, not home. Not home in the United States. Home in
That's
another
not your
country.
home. Yeah. You're not going to work, leave.
Yeah.
All right, to wrap this up, I got a couple of hot takes. So, why does it take TikTok to audit the government?
That's
Right?
sad, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is sad. All right, how many empty buildings equal a felony?
What does that mean?
Well, basically, like, how many of these empty daycare buildings
Oh,
do we need before people are going to
those
get
ones.
in trouble?
I'd say
right?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, one.
Right.
One. Yeah.
But
I don't
there's
know
a
how
lot
many
more
there
than that.
actually were. Right. And, if with regards to Tim Waltz, if this was the CEO of a company, like, that CEO would be out. If the CEO didn't resign, the board would have fired his ass. Right.
Well, actually, to that same degree, not even if it was the CEO of a company, if it was a Republican in general, they would be just gone.
Yeah. This would be a much bigger story.
Yeah.
They'd be calling for their head if
Yeah.
if it was any Republican. They'd be
Right.
Obviously, nobody's going to be perfect, like in politics either. And spending money, you're always going to have some fraud. You're not going to.
Yeah,
You're not going to be 100% ever.
Of course.
But it doesn't even seem like they're trying to stop the fraud.
Well, and I think that again, I think that's part of it, right? So the fact that they were turning the blind eye, or
And it's hard for me to believe that they're just doing that. Is that like, for payback in votes, or are they in on
so
money?
that's a good point. So I saw this today, and I didn't have time to do any kind of fact check or whatever before we started recording, but I was seeing some posts about these daycares, these actual daycares that were busted by Nick Shirley that were donating money back to Minnesota Democrats. So the info that they shared was 35 million or something like that over the last 2 years,
Right.
directly tied. And they, the big tagline was like, they're not even trying to hide it, because it was literally listed as the Leering Center, right? Yeah, like that was the joke. They
For
didn't
kids who
even have
can't read good.
yeah. What is that from Zoolander? How does it go?
Derek Zoolander school for kids who can't read good and want to do other stuff good too, I think is what it was.
Something like that. Yeah, that's a pretty good one, right?
Oh,
Pretty
Zoolander.
good. Yeah. President Trump was in Zoolander.
The second one or no?
Was he?
Wasn't there
I
a
think it was
second
the first one, but it's been so long since I've seen it.
remember.
He has
I know
a
he's in Home
cameo.
Alone, but
He was in Home Alone. He's
Yeah.
been in a lot of things.
Yeah.
But he was in Zoolander. He says something about, the two guys, Wilson and Ben Stiller, and about how they really helped, male models get to the forefront of the industry or something like that. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't remember Trump being in there. Now, what I do remember, and I've only seen it maybe once or twice, but I'm wearing my X-Files shirt
Mhm.
today. David Duchovny, of course, is in Zoolander, and he has a great part where he's this conspiracy guy, and he's got his hand in the glass case
Yeah, I
or
think I remember
something,
that.
and he's
Yeah.
basically playing a conspiracy
Mhm.
theorist, similar to Mulder.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. It was a funny movie, though.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's probably worth a rewatch at some point.
Yeah.
What was the Derelict? Remember the brand
Yeah,
they came up
Derelict.
with? It was
Yeah,
wearing trash.
the trash brand. Yeah. And that was Will Ferrell, right?
Derelict.
I don't know
What
that
was-
I ever saw the second one.
No.
Yeah, I don't
What-
either. Well, wasn't it like
Yeah.
20 years after the original
Yeah,
one or
it
something?
was definitely a
Yeah.
long time.
Those
Yeah, I don't know
hardly ever
exactly.
do well, I think. When they reboot
Well,
stuff like that.
Like Happy Gilmore 2,
It was all right. I give
it was all right.
It's like a 5 or a
5.
6. Yeah.
Yeah. But why it works is because it was straight to Netflix, right? Like
Yeah,
it
you
would have
didn't pay
bombed it
anything.
probably in the right. Yeah,
You just
you
waited
already
for it to
have
come out.
Yeah,
It was something
exactly.
easy. That's why you don't really feel too bad about it. Yeah, if you went and paid for it in the theater, you wouldn't be happy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Caroline and I, we went and saw The Housemaid at the Alamo Draft House over break, which is a cool place. They bring you food and drinks to your seat and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. Fancy bar and all that's down at the Foundry. But the movie was good, and we read the book. But Sydney Sweeney,
Mm-hmm.
You have to fill me in on this. I don't know anything about this movie or book.
Me neither.
it's a good it's a good date night movie, because it's a kind of like a chick book, really, but it's got a twist ending, and yeah, I don't know. It's good. I don't
Alright.
want to give too much
Yeah,
away,
right.
but check out the movie. The movie held true to the book, and it was good. And
What's
there's
it called?
3
The
Yeah, I
Housemaid.
already forgot. What was it?
The
I was like,
Housemaid,
inmate,
yeah.
housemaid. I don't know.
No, and I'll tell that to Caroline all the time. I'll be like, oh, I just finished reading The Handmaid Tales or whatever, and that's not what I'm talking about. Like The Housemaid, they're 2 completely different things. I've never seen a single episode of The Handmaid's Tale, but I get them mixed up.
Yeah, right. Well, they sound pretty similar.
Yeah.
I
But
thought that's what you were
no,
talking
they're
about.
not. They're not similar. They're not similar. But
If you say
just
so,
the
I'll take
movie,
your word
the
for
movie
it.
alone is worth a watch just because of Sydney Sweeney.
Okay,
Yes, I'll say that.
Craig's going to
much.
get those 2 confused and go watch the other one.
like
So
where
this
I don't
sucks.
see Sydney Sweeney yet. When did she come in?
Okay, local in the blue. Switch gears.
Yeah, what do we got?
All right. This one's a little bit different in the sense that I'm going Missouri story, not necessarily strictly St. Louis, although there are tie-ins.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
And so this news broke over the Christmas break here too, and that is that the Kansas City Chiefs are
knew this is where
moving
you were
out of
going.
the state of Missouri and building a new stadium in Kansas. Yes. So for our listeners
What a
that might
slap
not
in the
know,
face.
Kansas City is actually a city in Missouri,
Mm.
right? Now, the greater Kansas City area, of course, stretches both in Kansas and Missouri,
Yeah.
kind of like St. Louis. The greater St.
East
Louis area includes Belleville and Edwardsville and,
Yeah.
all
Maybe
of...
does it go that far?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Like
Yeah,
the
probably
metro
anything
area, you think?
within a 1-hour drive, I would think, of downtown probably
One?
constitutes
Yeah.
the greater St. Louis
Thinking like
area.
half an hour.
Yeah, half hour.
No, you don't think like
I
St.
think the
Charles?
Beltway area.
St. Charles wouldn't
St.
count as
Charles is probably-
St. Louis.
That's probably half an hour away from downtown, roughly.
What about Wentzville?
No,
Ooh,
that's
I don't
not-
know. You're getting out
that's too
there
far.
now.
I think anybody that would make the drive for like a Cardinals game would.
Oh, well,
would
that could be
constitute,
probably at least
right?
45 minutes then, probably.
People
or
drive
something.
12 hours for that.
That is true.
Mm.
Well, so they are, I think, actually like committed to moving to Kansas. And the big thing is that the Kansas lawmakers are giving them multi-billion dollars of incentive packages to
Mhm.
lure the Chiefs over to Kansas.
Well, yeah.
And the Missouri was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to give you all kinds of crazy money, to go build your new stadium. You've got a great stadium.
You're a billionaire.
You're already a billionaire. The owner is a billionaire. Of course, they've had an amazing run. They didn't make the playoffs this year, but they've won
First time in
whatever.
10 years or something. Though.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Wow, really?
So they're making money hand over fist right now. They got the Super Bowl victories. They got Patrick Mahomes, Taylor Swift,
didn't he get
Travis
hurt?
Kelsey.
Yeah.
He did. And then the backup quarterback the very next week out for the season.
No.
Yeah,
well, I guess their season was already over.
Season was
much,
over anyway. It didn't matter.
Yep. So on average, new NFL stadiums cost how much, do you think?
1.2
billion.
$2 to $3 billion.
Man, I was
$2 to
way
$3
low.
billion.
I would have thought I would be like at least high, in the middle.
No, I think Stan Kroenke's, I think he was, planning on like $5 or $6 billion, and it went over. So I think
That's
out in
crazy,
LA,
dude.
I think it was like $7 or $8 billion.
That's insane.
So
that's because it was in
interesting
LA.
though. Yeah, well, I'm sure that had something to do with it, but also it is supposedly one of the biggest, most badass stadiums in the world, and they're hosting the World Cup final.
Oh yeah.
No, they're not hosting the World Cup final. That went to MetLife actually. Yeah.
Where's that?
They thought that's in New York or technically East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Okay.
It's where the Jets and the Giants play. So, but here's what's interesting. So they cost between $2 and $3 billion. And again, on average, teams looking to build a new stadium are asking the city or the state, the taxpayers, to fund anywhere between $500 million to $1 billion via bonds, tax incentives, different infrastructure promises, all of those things. So that's a lot of money for somebody, again, that's already making chunks of it. Oh, and my question is, if the city can't afford to fix the potholes, then maybe they shouldn't be building this new castle for these billionaires.
Yeah. Can they not afford to fix the potholes?
You know what? I just had some fixed by my house after took them 5 years.
Yeah, I was going to say,
finally do it. So I don't know.
They have to get around to it.
Eventually, I guess so. So Missouri taxpayers, so that includes us, even though we're 4 hours away, we already help fund Arrowhead Stadium renovations and things like that, right? So we're already paying into this stadium. The Chiefs ownership, they just want more cash. They don't care about the loyalty to Missouri, to their fans on the Missouri side.
Right.
They're just looking for the most.
Everybody in Missouri,
money.
for the most part, after the Rams left, especially St. Louis.
Well, I'm going to get to that, man.
Probably Southern Missouri in general was probably, Rams, and probably even before the, Chiefs started doing better, they were all Rams fans. Well, now everybody jumped on the Chiefs bandwagon. Well, now they're leaving.
Well, and that's true to an extent. Obviously, the Chiefs are just moving across the border, so you're still going to be able to watch the game.
I think a lot of Chiefs fans will still be Chiefs fans.
So the Chiefs fans will probably still be Chiefs fans. But my bigger question,
it's literally going to be half an hour away from them, maybe. So they're still going to go.
It depends, right?
Now,
It depends
on
where the stadium is.
A different city altogether.
Wichita or something.
Yeah, right.
The
Could've
Wichita
changed
Chiefs. Yeah, right. Yeah, or what's the other city there? Topeka, the Topeka
Kansas,
Chiefs.
Yeah.
So that's the first.
Right.
Is that the first major pro team in Kansas?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think there's any other major professional teams.
No,
well, it would be Topeka or Wichita, probably. I guess. What's their capital? Is it Topeka?
Topeka is the capital. Yes. Yeah. Now there's some good colleges and things like that. But
a lot of corn.
So a
lot of corn.
Yeah, a lot of corn. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk. You brought it up, Nilla. Let's talk about the Rams and how the Rams and the NFL completely screwed St. Louis.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think people forget about that. Huh?
And the politicians?
Well, did the politicians screw us, or they screwed the politicians? There's a little bit of both, actually.
Yeah.
The way that this played out. And it just furthers the proof that the NFL has no loyalty to their fan bases. They don't care. They'll threaten to. The Chicago Bears, for Christ's sakes, they're threatening to leave Chicago.
Wow.
Because they're in the oldest NFL stadium at Soldier Field, which is a landmark, but they want a new stadium. And there was even rumors that they were going to try and make a move down to St. Louis.
Oh, could you imagine?
Yeah. I think that was a bargaining chip. They're like, we'll just
move
to St. Louis. Right. Don't leave. We'll give you $2 billion for a new stadium.
We'll do anything you ask. We'll not let you go to St. Louis.
Yeah. Right. All right. So the Rams left for LA in 2016. So
Dang,
it's like
10
officially it's been a
years.
decade now that they've been gone. And the NFL approved this move despite St. Louis meeting all of the requirements. So they violated their own relocation rules.
Yeah.
The NFL did.
That's
to
what left a sour taste
facilitate
in my
this move.
mouth about the NFL.
Yeah.
I kind of after
for
that
sure.
I was just done. Really,
100%. I hardly ever watch a game now. Maybe a little bit in the playoffs. I used to play fantasy football. I don't do that anymore. It's just hard to support a league that I don't. They don't.
all they care
about
about is the money. They don't care about what the
Right.
fans, have any. Like you said, no loyalty ever.
Yeah. So that's the thing. They didn't really just leave. They kind of bolted in the middle of the night, right? Because we were funding the new stadium, putting plans for a new riverfront stadium, a 1.1, this is 10 years ago, $1.1 billion riverfront stadium that we were building, and we had $400 million committed from public funds. So we were going to give them practically half of their new stadium we were going to pay for. So Stan Kroenke could have done that, stayed in St. Louis, but instead he decided to move out to LA and build his own stadium with no public funds, which is what they should be doing anyway, spend billions and billions of dollars, but the value of the team like tripled overnight.
Yeah, there's more money there.
Right. Well, sure. And I get that. And they wanted that market, but it's like, well, why did you leave in the first place? There's a reason why LA didn't have any teams, and now they're back to having two. So I don't necessarily get it. And, when the San Francisco 49ers, when they play the Rams, the whole stadium are 49ers fans. There's no Rams fans. So I don't really know how.
I don't understand it either. It doesn't make
as long as it's filled, though. I don't know if they care almost to some degree.
Right. Yeah, probably not, because they're making their money. That's all they care about.
Yep.
So here's the big thing. The NFL and the Rams never negotiated with St. Louis, our politicians, our city, in any kind of good faith. And it did cost them, because the city of St. Louis sued the NFL and St. Louis won. Now, I don't think this got a lot of press coverage.
Yeah.
It kind of got swept. It took a long time.
Yeah.
It took years, for sure. One, just to get the lawsuit ready, then to go through the process. And then they actually ended up settling out of court because, of course, the NFL didn't want all of this stuff publicized. Now, some of it was
settled
publicized.
like 5 years ago or something.
Probably
4 or 5 years.
Probably
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
$790 million in total. And that money went to
So does it go back to the taxpayers who were going to pay the $400 million?
Not technically. It's not like we got. It's not like we got stipend checks. Although our government could vote to do that. For the most part, they're still holding on to this money, and they have it in growth accounts. They're investing it. But in
there
theory,
wasn't a story recently where they were trying to use it for something.
So that's with St. Louis County. We're over budget, and they said like, hey, we might have to borrow money from the Rams fund. So it's in three different pots.
From us. Are they going to vote on it?
I don't know about that. Probably just the aldermen or something.
The politicians all want raises too, so we gotta make sure they're well paid.
Of course, yeah.
That way they can do their job well.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so I guess I don't know if it's even or not, but St. Louis County has some money, St. Louis City has some money, and then some money went to the Dome and the Visitors Convention, and then the state as well.
I remember Kansas City got some money too.
Right.
From that
exactly.
deal.
Yeah. So let's see. But yeah, the money didn't go back to the fans. That
seems to never do that. It never actually makes its way down.
Right. Exactly. So, the other thing is they talked really bad about the city of St. Louis. They lied. Stan Kroenke and Kevin Demoff was his name. They lied to the NFL. They talked about how much crime there was in St. Louis and yada yada.
Well, they have a point there. I mean, that's
there
I
is
think
crime.
actually it's a lot worse though since then.
Yeah,
and it probably is. But they misrepresented the facts because again, they were only utilizing the city of St. Louis and not the wider, greater area.
Sure.
Which, if you're going to say that our base is the greater St. Louis area, but we're only going to pull crime statistics from one small spot,
Yeah.
so they had all kinds of stuff. And, their internal emails were eventually revealed through the court filings, and we were able to see that, they knew that they were moving to LA the whole time. So, and that's what the league wanted. They wanted LA money over Midwest loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the fact
Pretty much
of the
what it
matter.
breaks down to.
Yep.
You know,
All right.
to me, it's like,
go ahead.
with all the real stuff going on in the world, to fund these billionaires, projects to make them more money is really not where I care. I don't want to spend any more money to you guys.
Well, that's kind of my point. Like, let the Chiefs move to Kansas, right?
To watch a game. I don't care.
Yeah. Right. Now, the only thing is they'll talk about the economic impact of having the NFL games. Now, with the NFL, it's only 8 games a year,
Right.
I home games, barring the playoffs. Like the Cardinals, okay, you have 81 home games, and people are coming from all over the Midwest to see the Cardinals play. The Blues, they have 41 home games. St. Louis City has 17 home games. Oh,
versus 8.
Versus 8, exactly. Right. So you build this huge stadium, and you could do some other things with it.
Sure,
but for eight games, that's a lot of money. So here's some facts about St. Louis. Interesting. St. Louis is the 23rd biggest media market city in the country. So the 23rd biggest city in the country. There are 32 NFL teams. Right. So it's kind of crazy. 32 teams. You would think maybe in theory the top 32 markets would have a team.
Especially it's been proven in the past that they have NFL fans in St. Louis. If they brought a team here, people would get on board and they'd go.
Well,
and St. Louis has money. We have money
in general, though. Is like we're very like local, centrally located.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure.
So we get lots of businesses or like different things like like we should have sports teams, like we should have a football team.
Sure. Yeah. We do. I mean,
have the population for it.
That right there. I mean, you're 23 out of 32. You would think we would have one. Kansas City is 34. So they're not even in the top 32, but they have a team.
I thought they were bigger than us.
But I wonder if that includes
St. Louis is bigger.
Are they looking at just the city, or are they looking at the whole metro areas?
Well, that's what I mean, the metro area, right? And that's what I'm talking about here. The media market size, which is the metro area. And again, it could be a 1 hour, or it could be however many people get broadcast over the airwaves. Maybe that's how they do it. I don't know. So here are some other smaller markets that have NFL teams. Now, Green Bay, okay, but that's kind of like Wisconsin, right? But that'd be like if Columbia, Missouri had a team. People are driving 2 hours to go to the game.
Right.
So that's interesting. Buffalo, New York.
Pittsburgh, are they smaller?
No,
I
don't think so. New Orleans, smaller. Jacksonville, Florida, and that was the team that we were supposed to get. I don't know if you remember that, but before we got the Rams, the NFL said that they were expanding, and St. Louis, Jacksonville, there were a couple of other cities that were, in the running. And I remember they did this big reveal. We all thought we were going to get it, and it went to Jacksonville.
Why wouldn't they just do like an expansion team and just add another team in LA as opposed to taking, I guess, because he owned them already? But
they just like the 32 team format, I guess.
That's the thing, and supposedly now if they want to expand, they want to do it over in Europe or Mexico City, London, Mexico City. That's what they want next for sure.
Well, I wouldn't know why you wouldn't at least take advantage of the markets you still had in the U.S.
Sure. Yeah. Well, then, that's something that you look at the MLS, and that's certainly something they're doing. I mean, they've expanded up to 30 teams now, and they've added St. Louis, San Diego, Nashville, Portland, so they're looking to get into some of these markets that even might not be, major markets, but they were like, we can have more teams, and they're not building as big as stadiums, like
you don't need them to be
City
as big.
Is 22.5. You don't need them to be as big as long as they're supported, and you look at England, and that's how they do their soccer over there. Every city has a soccer team.
Yeah. And their stadiums aren't crazy either.
No, with the exception of the biggest teams Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, stuff like that. But outside
some
of
of those just
those,
local teams have much
yeah,
smaller. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and the way they do it is very cool. You get promoted and relegated. So if you underperform, you drop a tier, you make less money. If you
Hmm.
get promoted, now all of a sudden you could be a small little
I like
town.
that. I actually like that
Yeah,
format. I
yeah,
think that's
yeah.
a good way to do sports, and it keeps you
For,
honest,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah. You can't just have a team like the Oakland Athletics, which don't really exist anymore, but they would never even try to win. They wouldn't put any money into their team. They were just happy collecting a paycheck. And the MLB has revenue sharing and things like that. So the owners were making money. They didn't need to put out a good product. And who gets screwed? The fans,
Mhm.
right? So, all right, just a couple of other quick things on this. The NFL franchises on average are worth between $4 and $7 billion.
Damn.
So why are these owners demanding public money? They can clearly support this themselves. And so these taxes, the public funding is hurting working families, not the ultra rich, right? It's the teachers and the plumbers that end up paying for these luxury boxes in these billionaire, castles. Last little point, St. Louis, he did it right with the Battlehawks, right? And so I think people are seeing that on the national level when it comes to the UFL, the former XFL.
Yeah.
That whole league lives or dies with St. Louis.
Mhm.
They can't get more than 10,000 fans in any other city, and St. Louis is consistently putting between 30 and 40,000 fans down at the Dome. So we did do some renovations, I guess, but we didn't build a new stadium. They're not doing anything crazy,
They're bringing
So
30 to 40,000 in every game.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
That's
In the
crazy.
last 2 years, they've held the championship game in St. Louis because they know that St. Louis is the only market that at the moment. So, and I think they switched it around. I think they got rid of some cities. They're adding some new cities.
That's
So
what I was
they
actually
do
going to
have.
ask because I don't know all the teams. I was going to ask what cities are they in, and do
We're
they
gonna
have
try and add
other?
the Battlehawks to the NFL.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
Well, see, and now the XFL or the UFL and the NFL, they do have a partnership to an extent. They're trying some rule changes and other things. But I don't know. I haven't been to a Battlehawks game. I've watched them on TV on occasion. The problem is you don't know the players.
Mhm.
You're not invested. They're not getting the attention that the NFL team gets. But another announcement this week, Ricky Prohl is going to be the new head coach for the Battlehawks.
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Super
former
Bowl winner.
St. Louis
Yeah.
Rams Super Bowl winner made the catch
Mhm.
against the Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game.
Man, one of the most exciting, seasons for a sports team.
I think we were freshmen in high school, if I
think
remember
so.
correctly.
Yeah. 98 season, right?
Yeah, 98 season, 99 Super Bowl. It was a
They
fun
were
one. And it was
a fun team to
great
watch.
Super Bowl. Yes, but greatest show on turf, right? And those stadiums were packed. The money was there. The sponsorships were there.
You remember in the middle
so-
of that season how good they were. You never thought that they were going to lose. You're like, oh, still didn't matter if they were down at any time or if somebody scored late.
yeah.
Like,
And we did lose
there's
3
10
games.
seconds. There's 10 seconds
but-
on the clock. You got plenty of time.
Yeah. Well, when you get to the actual Super Bowl and the Titans tied it up, and the very next play, Kurt Warner throws a
Deep one, right?
80-yard bomb to Isaac Bruce for a touchdown. The very next play.
Yeah.
And you're just like, we're destined.
They could
to
score
win,
on any play.
on any play. Yeah.
They were always in scoring distance.
Go back and watch some of those old highlights with when you had
Marshall
Torrey
Falk,
Holt
man.
and
Holy
Marshall
crap.
Falk. What just the best.
One of the best seasons ever.
Yeah. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Hakeem, Hazir Hakeem, Ricky Prohl, the lone white guy, and he'd always do the, first down. But yeah. It was a good team. So anyhow, you know what? I say if the Chiefs want to leave Missouri, fine. But, we should stop funding them. F it.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, let Kansas do that. Yeah.
Agreed.
And then in 10 years, when they're done with that stadium, then maybe they'll come back.
They'll come to St. Louis then.
They're not
We spend
loyal
the
to
We'll
money.
see.
They're not loyal to the fans. I don't know why fans are even loyal to teams.
Well, that's what I mean. That's the whole point. All right, I got the wheel. Do we see what's
What do
on
you
there?
got here?
I've got the flu, which we talked about a little bit, but I got some more information. I still got that religion topic up there. Malaysia Airlines.
Isn't that
Oh yeah, I
old?
saw something about that. No,
Yeah.
I mean maybe not.
40 dead.
What is that?
I don't know.
No.
I mean,
Oh, God, the Stranger Things. Yeah.
40 people are dead. Stranger Things, St. Louis Blues, food news, and geopolitics.
Okay.
All right, spin that sucker.
All right, let's see it. I don't know why it's off center.
Yeah.
Like normally it's in the center
Actually,
of
it's
the
in the
screen.
center of my screen here.
It is. Well,
Where's the I was like, what did it even land on?
all right.
What's the religion topic?
The religion topic. I know you've been trying to
Oh, yeah.
get a hold of this topic, Nilla. So let me.
I don't even know why.
Yeah. So I saw this a couple of weeks ago, and this was a clip that took place at the Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis. I don't know
Beautiful
if you guys ever
church.
been there.
Yeah,
Have you been?
I had a cousin
I've
get
never
married there
been.
a couple years ago.
Yeah, nice. We've driven past it. I don't know why I've never gone over to see it because it is
Are you
iconic.
sure you didn't go? I thought we
Did we
went
go
there
in a school
in grade
field trip or
school.
something?
Yeah,
Maybe,
you know,
but
actually, maybe not. I think my brother
if we
Ben
did, I
got
don't remember.
confirmed there, or maybe my nephew. I can't remember. Somebody got confirmed there.
Why would it
Right,
be there
right.
specifically?
I don't know. They did it there
Oh.
with I think the archbishop was
Oh.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
That's that's a
Sometimes
cool church.
certain classes go and do that.
All right.
So here's what happened. So this couple decided to do a proposal, or I guess the husband did, or the fiance now, right? He was like, I'm gonna
Fiance.
propose to my girlfriend, and they set up a camera, and I think somebody was behind the camera if you watch the video, and it's a pretty good distance because I think they're trying to be what's the word?
Discreet.
Candid, discreet about it.
Yeah.
So that the girlfriend doesn't know what's going on and whatever. So the boyfriend's in the middle of this proposal, and this guy, just this random man, walks into the frame and gives his confession. We'll say that he gives his confession to the camera
Wow.
that he is a murderer.
What?
So he came right out. And he says, "I've killed people."
How was this not in the news like more?
Right to the camera. Well, I mean, it was a little bit, and again, it went viral on social media. Multiple outlets
Like he
posted
turned
about
himself
it.
in at this time too, or
He did not turn himself in. He is an attorney, so they have identified this man. They know who he is, but police have not said that this. They're not sure of any direct link between an actual homicide. So we're not sure if this man actually killed somebody.
So the story
or
was
not.
from how long ago
he was just
originally?
saying stuff.
But maybe like a month ago or something.
So
like
is there
that.
any new news on it?
I'd have to do a quick
No,
search.
I
Who's
was
in
just
front of their
curious.
computer? Duds, are you in front of your
I'll
computer?
take a look. Yeah.
Do a quick search while I run through, see if there's any update. Recent coverage, again, says there's no official evidence. People are speculating that maybe this guy's having a mental health crisis, but he's not known to be crazy, right? So he's an attorney. Some people are saying that this was just a stunt, but the couple have vehemently denied that. They were like, we don't know what's going on. We don't know who this guy was. This was not any kind of social media stunt. We were just trying to get engaged. And you can hear somebody say, like, get out of the frame, or telling the guy, like, get out of the camera. And he doubles down. He comes back and says, like, I just need to admit that I've killed people.
Wow.
Seems like a really strange thing to do.
I mean, they weren't the priests. They weren't like, he wasn't in the confessional.
Right. No. Right. So it didn't count.
It didn't count. Just do a couple Hail Marys, whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Didn't count. Not seeing anything yet.
Nothing.
I see something on Reddit, but that was a month ago and not a whole bunch about it there.
You'd think you would have heard something about that. That's the first time I heard that story. Bradley Drake Smith, the St. Louis attorney. Something's popping up. I don't know. Grok's taking a while.
All right.
I've killed people. I don't want to hurt another human being.
I know. Greg just admitted everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, do we think that this was a real confession?
All right, so here we go.
That's all right.
Well, here's the video.
Oh yeah, you can plug
I'm
that
sorry. I'm a murderer, the strange man says, squatting down right in front of the camera. I'm a murderer. I need help, he tells the cameraman. My God, Bradley. A woman is heard saying off screen. The man continues with his confession. I've killed people, plenty of people. I do not want to kill anyone else. I've killed a lot of people. Another woman tells the man, Bradley, come on. Please forgive me. Rosary dangles in front of the lens. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any new information on it. They said
Well, maybe
Bradley Drake Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, the attorney. Maybe, just maybe, he's the serial killer down in the Texas bayous.
I saw something.
Did you-
It's
about
all
that, too.
connected. It's all connected.
Look that up, duds. Ask Grok about that. So I didn't pull that, and actually I meant to pull that as a callback because I know you brought that up, Nilla,
What am I
a couple
looking
weeks
for?
ago.
Yeah.
The Texas bayou serial killer.
It's Bayou.
Because I think they just pulled another person, I think, from the same spot.
I mean, is it a serial killer? I mean, how many people is this now?
I don't know, but I think it started. I saw some articles saying that was fueling speculation again.
Right.
That maybe this is the case of a serial killer.
It says as of January 2026, there's no confirmed Texas Bayou serial killer in Houston.
Right.
Rumors of serial killer dumping bodies in the city's bayous, particularly
here's
Buffalo
more than
and
30
Braves.
bodies recovered. 30. That's what I was going to say. And I thought, 34. So many. 34.
Yeah, but over what time frame?
Well, good question.
I mean, is that since they started recording?
Well, right. Or is it like this year? I mean,
that was in
2025.
And there was
The new
35
discoveries
in
brought the
2024.
year-end total of bodies recovered in the swamps up to 34, just one short of 24's record. So they already had another 33 the year before?
35.
So this would either be one of the biggest serial killers of all time, or this is just the known dumping grounds for anybody that kills anybody.
Well, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Like if you were going to kill somebody down in Texas or Louisiana, you'd take them
in the
down
bayous, just feed it to an alligator. Yeah,
take them down to the Everglades in Florida. You'd never find the bodies. Maybe you do, I guess. Sometimes.
Well, clearly they did. Yeah.
Now,
right.
Sometimes,
but are they so decomposed and that you can't actually pull any evidence off it at that point?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, just being in that water and then being eaten on by animals.
Piranhas.
Right. Yeah. Crazy.
So there's no confirmed serial killer, though. It's just
no. Well, we'll keep our eyes on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I have officially. What else? You guys have anything? Anything else? Go on.
Did you see? And I don't know if save this for another time or not. Did you hear something about this meteor?
Oh, I was going to say something about that. Yeah. I watched the video with the kids.
Right by the arch or something.
Over the arch.
Yeah. No, so that's what I was going to kind of say was, all right, so actually 2 or 3 days ago, I forget what it was now, me and Jane were on the way back from, I don't know, probably dinner. It was in the evening. We were on Gravoy right there, like at Sugar Creek-ish. And she saw something first, and I was like, I didn't see it. I was driving, and then I did see it, and it was, I don't know, like a shooting star-ish. Not sure what it was, but it literally probably hit the ground, or I'm assuming somewhere really close. What was it? Could you go find it? I mean, where is it actually at? I mean, who knows? But what
most meteors
do you think it actually hit?
It looked like, it looked low. I mean, it looked like it was 100 something feet in the air, roughly, give or take. I looked that up actually, and they said that most of them don't. They disintegrate into space before they actually hit the ground. But I was like, well, then what the crap was this? And then I was talking about this possible earthquake or whatever the crap this was that we heard / felt earlier. And I saw something randomly on social media. People were saying something about another meteor. And I was like, what the crap's going on with these meteors around here?
Alien invasion.
So you see the meteor, and if you've seen the video, it is pretty cool because it goes right in between the arch, and it's green. It lights up green. And they have
the close up,
and they have the what? Yeah. Well, not literally under, but it goes, if you're outside looking at the downtown and it goes,
in
right
front of
through
it,
the arch.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
why
it looks cool
are they
before
usually
it
green?
disintegrates.
Or
I guess I don't know.
Depends on what it's made of, I think.
Yeah, the
So
heat.
did
maybe
they hit the ground?
They said they don't think it did. No.
What, really?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. And
It
if it
seems like it
did,
was-
by the time it does, it's so small because
Right.
most of it.
Yeah. Or could have went in the river, or I don't know. Who knows? But actually, that's what they said. They said usually they're like the smaller than a grain of sand or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh well, then good luck finding that.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Good luck finding that. Be searching
I wanted
everywhere for that.
I wanted to go recover this one over here, and maybe find some crazy like metals in it. Maybe it was worth some money, or who knows?
It's gonna be gold.
Kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Let's get that gold meteor over here.
Or it could be that one from what was that movie? Joe Dirt, and it was really just poop, frozen in space
Boeing
whenever it fell
bombs.
from the airplane or whatever it was. I don't know.
They
Anyways,
really do that?
meteors.
They really empty their toilets out over the ocean?
I
The
I
planes?
don't know. Good
I don't
question.
think so.
I mean,
Well, you know
planes,
what?
they flush, they empty their stuff out.
Right over,
They
like in the water?
I think over all of us.
Over
Like
the
they
land.
just do it. Yeah.
land.
Yeah.
No, come on.
I think so.
Does
I
it
don't think
disintegrate
so.
again into nothing
I
before
think it does. I think if you're high enough, I think it does.
dissipates? I mean,
Because
maybe.
You must
the
be
air
really
is like
high.
it's super cold up there, obviously, and I don't know.
Well, I saw
something-
something not too
something
long ago.
happens.
It was
So
about
they're just shooting
ships.
turds out and
Yeah, ask Grok.
It
No
was.
way. I don't believe that.
I could see it.
God,
Yeah.
this is going to be a great clip for TikTok. They're just shooting turds.
It was an article, and it was talking about like big cruise ships and how they dump their waste into the ocean. And I was
Yeah.
like, "What? That's crazy. There's no way." Well, they do, but it does have to go through like 3 processes of like basically cleaning it to some degree beforehand. And I was like,
Really?
"Okay, that's better," but still,
Yeah, they
kind of,
filter it out, I think, a little bit.
yeah, like a septic tank or something,
Yeah, the pools.
septic pool.
So
Pools.
just to let everybody, all of our listeners
On
know,
the ship.
no,
Okay.
modern commercial airplanes do not intentionally drop pee or poop
Intentionally.
while flying, whether over land or sea. So very rarely would they have to do that for like a faulty seal or a valve, maybe, but
Okay.
it's not intentional. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good to know.
I couldn't
Had to
believe
know.
that would be true. They would just be dropping that all over the
Now,
place.
There's this story from a couple years ago. This plane had to dump their fuel, and they were flying too low. Because again, maybe that's what I was thinking of. If you dump the fuel, it like freezes and goes into the atmosphere or whatever, which probably isn't good. But it doesn't actually land on anybody because this is jet fuel. But its plane was
It
flying
probably
too low.
vaporizes, and
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
like disperses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they released it flying too low. It didn't have time to do any of that, and all the jet fuel landed on some school kids outside on a playground.
That's not good.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and that's a real story. Like,
Yeah, that's not
that
good.
happened. I think they got sued.
I'm sure.
Somebody.
Got to sue somebody
Um,
for something.
That's
yeah.
right. That's what our country's really founded on.
Yeah, I'm
We
looking
should
for
sue the
somebody to sue
Somalians.
for something. Wait, now, can we do that?
That's
the
the
country
easiest
of
way to make
Somalia
money.
for
Sue
sending these
somebody.
Somalians over here.
Yeah. Maybe we can sue Tim Waltz.
Maybe.
He needs to be in jail. They need to charge
Chances
him.
are we're going to be the ones getting sued for this podcast for copyright infringement because of our awesome intro. We're going to be the ones. Yeah.
Well, good. Then at least somebody will
Uh,
have listened to it.
Yeah. Well, Duds, how was Nashville?
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever been to the Opryland?
I don't think I ever have. I've been to Nashville, 3 or 4 different times.
The Gaylord
I
at
don't-
Opryland.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to the Gaylord
gigantic
Opryland.
hotel,
Yeah.
complex resort.
But
Yeah.
what's interesting is I had another friend who was there with his family, and he was taking pictures. They were swimming and doing all those things, and I kept looking at his photos to see if I could see you in the background. And it's not somebody that you would know,
Right.
so I was just like, how funny would it be?
That
if it
would be
was just
funny.
this- Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They got a lot of cool attractions, and they do a lot of Christmas stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
They give carriage
But
rides. and
I think this
lights.
is a pretty popular spot, I
Yeah,
guess,
it is.
during the Christmas break.
Yeah,
So
I can't even tell you how big these hotels are. They're
Right.
huge. I mean, I
Right.
know because you have all these resorts you go to.
Sure.
It's on that scale, but I mean,
Wow.
Right.
huge. These atriums are unbelievable. how big
And
they
you
are.
said
They
you didn't leave the resort.
no,
Or
you
the
don't need
hotel.
to.
You
I mean, they have
you didn't go
restaurants.
to Main Street or any of that
Right.
stuff, huh? No.
Nope.
Yeah.
You don't
I
need
can't
to.
believe you
It's
didn't
got
go to
everything
Hattie
there.
B's to get some Nashville hot chicken though.
Yeah, I would have liked to, but
Yeah.
Next time, put
I
it on
went
the list.
there last year, I guess. I got it was 2025, but
Yeah, well,
it was good.
I've not
Yeah, it was
done like
good.
an adult's trip to Nashville. Just we've only gone
Yeah.
with the kids and to the Gaylord.
It's fun. It's been a while since I've done that per se. I was there for work earlier this year. I did the Pearl Jam concert, which was really cool. And when work pays for that, it's an added win, right?
Yeah,
A
for sure.
bonus. And then Caroline and I, we went for the Blues game years ago. So it's fun, but it can also be a little much.
Mhm.
Like Main Street's pretty crazy. There's all bachelorettes,
Yeah.
parties going on.
That'd
But
be nice.
and it's also bigger now. Now you have all these big, country stars. They have these 4-story bars,
Yeah.
so got kind of crazy with it, but it's
But
still
tons of
a cool
entertainment,
city.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But yeah,
People watching.
yeah. I don't even like country music, but when I'm in Nashville, I'm like,
We did
not
did
so
meet
bad.
this lady in line. She was talking to us and she's like, "Oh yeah, you guys from here?" I'm like, "No, we're from St. Louis." And she's like, "Oh yeah, we just moved here from California." And she said they moved onto a street and they have like 3 other neighbors on their street that all moved from California too.
Yeah.
What?
That's what
And they
Nashville's a
said that
very
everybody they
popular.
know is leaving California.
Yeah. 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 And I'm sure they like Nashville because and it's liberal, but it's in a red state, so they
Mhm.
probably save money.
Yep.
Well,
So they
sure.
can come ruin this state too.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what they'll do. They'll turn Tennessee will turn blue.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Eventually,
So-
I guess.
Voting
Yeah.
for the same stupid ideas, and then get mad about that and how it's not working there,
Well,
and
Caroline
how
and
they
I, we
pay
went
high
out.
taxes.
We went out last night for New Year's. Now we were home and in bed by 10:30.
Ooh.
But I know, right?
If you did
I
New
stayed up.
Year's, like what time zone was that? If you were celebrating
Yeah,
New Year's
10:30 out of.
at
There are
10.
some time zones that are on half an hour.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Well, yeah, she was asleep at 10:30.
Somalia,
I
probably.
made it till I stayed up till midnight. But we went out. We tried this new cool new place.
Just you guys?
We met up
Damn.
with Bobcat Man. Yep. I tried to convince him to join the podcast today, but he wasn't having it.
Too busy.
But we met up with him and his wife. But before we met for dinner, we went to this new speakeasy. Prohibition is what it's called, and it's in the old Vindiset building. If you know that building, it
Heard of
caught
it.
on fire and it got condemned, and then I guess they've rebuilt it now,
Haunted.
So I don't know about that, but it
Yeah.
was a very cool speakeasy. Amazing drinks, like the drinks were
Speakeasies are cool.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so dark. Like you're in the basement already.
Mm.
And it's just it's dark in there. It just felt very cool.
I like
You know,
that
Did you have
idea of
old-fashioned?
that. Yeah, drinking whiskey and smoking cigars.
Yeah, I did a mezcal drink first, and then I did like
Mescalita?
some kind of bourbon thing. No, it wasn't a mescalita. It was something else, and it was spicy. It had a green chili in it, and
Oh,
it
wow.
had one piece of ice, and it was real thin and tall. It was very well done. And then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did some kind of bourbon old fashioned thing, and then we went to the Bellwether, which is kind of down in that same area, close to Lafayette Square and all of that. And that's where we met up with Bobcat Man and had dinner there, hung out, had a drink, and then I was like, if you guys want to come over, you can come over. But they were like, no.
I want to go to bed.
It's probably a good thing because I don't think Caroline could have done it because we had 2 drinks at Prohibition plus they gave us champagne, a glass, so 3 drinks there before we even got to dinner.
Right.
Then we had whatever drinks
more
at
there
dinner.
probably
Then
at
we
least,
had
so.
we had a post dinner drink that was also like a fancy.
Wow.
I did a
Martini.
dealer's choice mezcal, and she gave me some kind of mezcal cucumber thing. Oh, it was good. It was good.
I tell you that meme that I don't know who sent it out, Justin, with the Stone Cold Steve Austin, or is that you, Greg?
It wasn't
Somebody
me,
said
but I'm
that.
trying to think how it went.
Saying,
Yeah, I don't even
New
remember.
Year's in your 20s, and it was Stone
Oh, yeah,
Cold
yeah.
cracking the beers and drinking them.
And in your
Yeah.
40s, like you're already asleep in bed.
Yeah, your 30s was a glass of wine, and then your 40s you're already in bed.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
pretty
It's
funny.
like that is pretty true. Like after a
Most
while,
of the
How
time.
late?
yeah.
How late did you stay up?
we
Did you
actually
make it till
stayed
midnight?
out. Yeah, we did midnight. which was too late for us. We were home by 12:45 and sleeping by like 1:30.
We were out too late for sure. We were over at False Dishes until 1:30.
Okay, well that's not like terrible. We used to stay up at your place until the sun came up. You remember that?
Almost,
I don't know
kind of.
what we were doing
in your 20s.
Yeah, probably 30s actually, but I don't know.
Now I'm guessing you guys don't do your New Year's Day game day anymore, huh? We don't have to get into the weeds on that, but I'm guessing that's not a tradition anymore. Huh?
Not really, yeah, but
Game day. What are you talking about?
To start it up. We always used to do like a New Year's Day. Was it day?
Yeah.
In my grandma's house, so just like she would make food, whatever and stuff. We'd just go over there and hang out with the whole family-ish kind of, and probably play some games randomly, towards the end. But
Gotcha.
She's no longer here, so we don't do it.
Right.
That's how traditions die, I guess, along with people.
Sure. Yeah.
That is true. Hey, speaking of places to eat, the Mexican, I went there with Jenny, a couple weekends ago.
Crestwood?
Yeah, the new one. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good food.
I mean,
what is it called?
But
the Mexican. It's right there in Crestwood by the new Deer.
That's what it's called, the Mexican.
The Mexican.
So.
Yeah.
Really?
And it's like high upscale Mexican, and it's the owners, Helen Fitzgerald.
Yeah, that's right.
Cyberg's.
Yeah, Cyberg. Yeah.
So
it's
they
right
opened
where like Crestwood Mall used to be, kind of, right there.
Right. Yeah, there's a Katie's Pizza.
Well, there's Katie's Pizza. Yeah.
And right next door is the Mexican.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay.
The Katie's isn't open yet, I don't believe.
Okay.
But they're close.
Yeah.
The Mexican was good though. Yeah. They had good happy hour specials too.
Well, if it's the same family as Cyberg's, Helen's, Twisted Tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
They're some of the best restaurants in St. Louis, I think.
Helen Fitzgerald's is always packed. I mean, insane. Always. Especially Friday, Saturday nights with the live band.
They
had a big New Year's.
They want to
thing
sponsor the show. I think that would be great because they're a great company, great food.
Give them a call. Give them a call. I'll call Prohibition and Bellwether. You call Helen's and the Mexican. Yeah.
The Mexican.
It's
a good place. You got to try it out.
Yeah.
It wasn't overly expensive. It's like Twisted Tree, prices.
Yeah. Well, Twisted Tree
depends.
It could be expensive.
They did have $180 cowboy steak there, I think.
At the Mexican? Really?
I don't know if it was a cowboy steak. It was like $180
tomahawk
steak meal.
Yeah.
It's like 36 ounce.
I don't know if that's where I'd go for that nice of a steak, but I mean, they have it. So
well, you could.
I'm sure they can cook it.
Yeah, you put a couple of some chimichurri sauce on top or something, and now it's
chimichurri
Mexican sauce.
Yeah,
salsa.
Sure. I mean,
you put that on beef. That's good on beef.
Yeah, guac on the side or something, and now it's a Mexican steak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Mexicans have good. They have good steak.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Carne asada.
Carne asada. That's right.
It's about the extent of my Mexican that I know.
Anything else before we sign off?
I got
what do you need? New Year's resolutions or anything?
Well, I've already started. I'm down 13 pounds. I started before the holidays so that I would, not gain a bunch of weight, and then So
you're not doing dry January then, I guess.
No. You sell so I'm still drinking my Christmas ale beers. I was like, I got to drink those up before Breckenridge Brewery Christmas ale, before it's too late. Because like the end of January, you're like, I can't have a Christmas ale anymore.
So what's your goal here?
My goal
intention? Like, what's your intention?
Just to lose.
I don't know. Like I was a little bit healthier in general. I kind of already naturally do this intermittent fasting thing because I normally don't eat breakfast. So I was like, I'm just going to be intentional with it. And right now I'm eating a lot of protein, minimal carbs, and I'm seeing if it improves energy, which I think for the most part it has. I want to get kind of down to my goal weight. So I want to lose about another 10 pounds and then kind of see what happens. Right. I don't want to have to be on a diet, obviously,
so you're
but
10
I think
pounds away from your goal right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 13 down already.
Right.
So another 10 pounds. The problem is I won't fit in my pants.
I know.
Yeah. And I don't want to buy new pants because I'm finally to the point in my life where I can afford nice clothes. And so I bought all of those clothes already.
And if you
I don't
buy
wanna
the
have to do
smaller
it
pair,
again.
then you got to commit
means
to
you
staying
got-
small too.
So you got rid of your old pants already?
Probably. Well,
I
they
mean,
weren't nice.
They were nice, right?
All my smaller pants were cheap.
Right.
And so they're
No, the
gone.
best
Now I
is
have
when
nice pants that aren't going to fit.
you buy the smaller pants after you work out. You fit in these smaller pants, and then you throw away the bigger pants, and then you're committed.
Yeah.
Now you got to stay. Now you got to be.
Yeah.
Or you buy the cheap pants again, then
I don't know.
Can't
Like
buy
I just
bigger. You got to stay in the same size.
three new pairs of Tommy Bahama pants. They're like $250 a pair. I got 3 of them.
Can't
so
trade
I
them in.
No, I don't think so.
They should offer
exchange.
That's the way it works.
Exchange these.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's not. Not necessarily calling it a New Year's resolution. And I didn't want to start. That's the thing. I think a lot of people do. They're like, "I'll start on January 1," and that's all
recipe for disaster.
Yeah, exactly. If you're like, "Oh, I'll put it off until," well, then they're like, "Oh, well, today's Thursday. I'll just start on Monday."
Yeah, then it's over.
Like January 5th.
You're already done. You're already done.
So that's why I was like, I'm going to start before the holidays, get some momentum going. So yeah. So that's about it. And it is kind of boring because it's just, diet. Everybody does that, but maybe the podcast, maybe try and get the podcast in front of some more
promote the
listeners.
podcast a little more. There you go.
Promote the podcast
Not a bad
little
idea.
bit more. That's
set up your
resolution.
LLC.
Yeah.
Get this business
set it up.
structured. Oh, you got it?
I've got the LLC, NFNP Pod Productions, LLC. And that'll cover any podcasts.
You get the website?
We got the website,
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna work on that for my taxes this year.
Ooh, yeah.
It's
a
write off any costs.
Just write it off, baby.
To the software, Grok.
How do I submit an expense report?
We're not there yet. You guys aren't employees because we're not making any money. So once we start making money, then we can talk about a partnership or something. Yeah, we're definitely in debt. Definitely. So
buy that
what about you guys? Any New Year's resolutions?
Greg, you got any?
I think just to be healthier a little bit in general, basically. More active.
Once you get to our age,
Yeah.
you kind of have to do that. That's kind of like,
Jenny
42.
got me a rucksack for Christmas, so I'm gonna start trying to do that every day. Did it today, just around the block, because it's like 30 pounds.
Right.
And it's amazing how much your traps feel that. Like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. So I'm gonna try doing that, just walking the dog around the block, and I think over time that'll, build the muscle and help.
That's the thing
soccer
too.
practice. Yeah, at soccer practice, all of the ladies walk around the fields with their vests and stuff on, their weighted vests and things like that.
I mean, because then people don't realize that, like, they potentially been walking around with that though for years, for their whole life or whatever it may be, potentially, right? Because they were, whatever, overweight or something. Let's just say.
There's a really good Mr. Beast video, and it's like a longer one, but he's got this guy, and he's 300 and something pounds, and he locks him in to a gym, like a house gym, right? He's locked into here until he loses 100 pounds, and if he loses the 100 pounds, Mr. Beast is going to give him $400,000.
He'll release him from jail.
Right? Yeah. No, the guy can leave at any point.
Yeah.
But then he loses the $400,000.
Loses the competition.
Yeah. And then Mr. Beast keeps giving him other challenges, which give him more money. And at the end of it, he has built for him a bodysuit, a 100-pound bodysuit.
Oh, to wear, yeah.
That was based off of him when he started the whole competition. And he puts it on, and they're like, "This is what
you were."
Walk around it like this is what you were, before this whole thing started. It's a pretty good video. There's some interesting things that happen, but
probably 100 pounds on 200. I mean, that's
yeah.
That's a lot of impact too, like on your knees and stuff, and your joints. I mean,
But if you were locked, he had nothing else to do. If you're locked in, like it's kind of like being in prison, right? Like if you don't come out of prison,
I'd be in great shape.
You should be ripped. If you're not ripped coming out of prison, you did something wrong. Right. Yeah.
If you literally have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I assume this guy, when he was locked in this, whatever, this house or whatever you want to call it. I mean, he probably had like personal like chefs
He
and
had a
stuff or whatever.
He had a personal trainer. He had, I don't know if he didn't have a personal chef, I don't
Didn't have
think,
a
but he
chef,
had
okay.
food provided. You know,
Right,
he had
okay.
all the workout equipment. He had an outside track.
I'm sure all the
among
just had-
food
other
was like the
things.
Just
perfect
one guy there by
nutrition too.
himself.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
up to him. It was up to him to choose how much he ate, what he ate, when he ate.
Yeah.
You know, now his personal trainer, you know, gives him suggestions and
Right.
goals to work on. Now, do you want me to spoil a little bit of it?
You
You're not
can.
gonna
I'm not
watch it,
gonna
are you?
watch it.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. So of course
I
he
already
develops.
basically seen the whole thing now.
Right, I know. Well, he develops a relationship with his personal trainer. Not an intimate relationship, but a
Okay.
relationship. It's the only guy that he, you know, that he has seen for however long.
Yeah.
I forget how long he was in this thing in total. It was like 6 months or 9 months. I don't know, whatever.
So he's the only
like-
person he saw.
Other than maybe Mr. Beast when he came in on occasion.
So the world
weigh
could
him
have
or
literally
something
ended
like that.
like outside
Sure.
of that
Yeah.
cell, and he wouldn't
Yeah,
have
well,
known.
go check out some of other Mr. Beast. You know, they lock people in bunkers and stuff like that. So, but anyhow, so his personal trainer ends up dying while they're filming this, and of course, the personal trainer's in great shape.
Yeah.
He's like our age, you know, and he just died in his sleep. And they don't explain how or why in the video, you know. So one of the producers has to come tell this guy, like, hey, your personal trainer didn't wake up today. And of course, the guy's devastated. You know, is he going to go on?
Yeah, that's pretty
So it was
nuts.
pretty crazy. But I'm like, yeah, what are the odds that, you know, this 45-year-old super in shape dude probably was quadruple vaxxed?
Well, that could do it.
I thought that was going to give more of a response, but
Is
it
Greg
did not.
frozen? I think Greg might be
I don't
frozen.
know. Greg might be frozen. He's just such an awe, you know. I can't believe this guy's dead,
Ugh.
quadruple vaxxed. He is frozen. Oh well. All right. Well, you're gonna do the rucksack. That was yours, huh? That's your New
Yeah, I
Year's
think I'm gonna try and
resolution?
do that every day. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
try. I can do it
Yeah.
every day. Yeah,
Sure. Nice.
that'll
I
be
did
my
one
thing.
a couple of years ago. It was to read more books. I wanted to read a book, one book a month. And
That's a good
I've done
commitment.
that.
Yeah.
I've done that for 4 or 5 years now. And I usually average about 15 to 18 books a year now.
So do you read more or listen to more books?
I do both. You know, because I like listening when I'm on the plane or driving for work or any of that stuff. It's just so easy.
I think you retain
but
it better if you read it though.
Yeah, I think so, because you lose focus, and you know
When you're-
sometimes you're
yeah,
like,
when you're
I gotta
listening.
rewind it. You know, especially on the plane, like I'll fall asleep sometimes, and that's a big pain in
You
the
don't know
butt.
where the hell you were at.
Right, exactly. You know, but I will, and I have certain books where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read this, and if I have the copy of it, you know, it's like I'm gonna read this. So I'll usually have 2 books going at the same time. I'll have one when I'm at home and I can just read, and I have the other one when I'm, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I should
flying
read
or
more.
something.
I usually
Yeah.
listen to all the books I want to listen to though.
Yeah. Well, I
You just
listen to
have
a lot
more
of
time to do
podcasts and
that.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I could read. I just, scrolling on the stupid phone,
Well, and that is a problem sometimes, and I do that a lot when I'm in the hotel and I got nothing else to do, and you go.
It's amazing
you go
how
to
an hour
bed
can
and
fly by though. Like,
flies by.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
yeah,
you're like,
it's
man,
nuts.
what was I looking at? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah. The other one that several years, I think I'm 2 years into this, was to do Duolingo. So 2 years I
What's
haven't missed Spanish lessons.
Oh, really? You're taking Spanish?
Yeah. Yep, on the Duolingo app.
So
I
you
don't
know it all right?
Well, I know a lot of words. I can understand a lot more than I can speak it. You
Really?
know, that was always tough. It's like even back in school, you know, like to try and think of what you want to say and then spit it out your mouth was, you know, it's still hard. I still can't quite do it. Now there are easy phrases I can do,
So
but
when you hear Spanish people talking to each other, you can
Yeah.
tell what they're talking about
I-
usually.
I definitely, because I'll pick up on enough words that I can be like, oh, they're talking about, you know, the weather's gonna get bad or
Mhm.
whatever. You know, I might not be able. I'm not gonna pick up every word, and I'm, you know, trying to do the conjugations of all the different verbs. That's tough too. You know, 'cause-
Conjugating the verb.
Yeah, it's tough. Maybe that'll be the title. I don't know.
Now, I'd like to
Got to
know other
come up with the
languages,
title.
but I mean, I know English so well. It's like I
Well,
really
it is.
don't want to. I don't need another one.
It's a lot of work, and I wonder with like my kids if because they say if you start younger, start at second grade or something. We didn't start till high school, and it was over at that point, I think.
There's just so much stuff
But
you would like to be doing, but everything takes a little bit of your time, and it's like,
sure,
how
well,
much
of
stuff
course,
can you possibly do,
right,
and
yep,
having to commit
well,
to be good at speaking a language, you got to commit a lot of time to that,
100%.
You want an
Yep.
instrument, you want to play an instrument, you got to commit a lot of
Oh,
time to that.
we got the kids little guitars for Christmas, just little ones, but I'm like, they're never gonna learn how I can't play any musical instruments. To learn those different chord, I don't know how they do that. It's crazy.
It's time. I think it's
Yeah.
whatever you put your time to. You're going to get good or adequate, well, at whatever you decide you want to put your time to.
Yeah.
That's what I try to tell, Jameson.
Sure.
And it's like, if you put it to video games, you're going to get good at video games. If you put it to kicking the soccer ball, you're going to get good at playing soccer. So
absolutely.
it's all in just where you focus your effort is what it
and
all
you got to
comes
have
down
passion. You got to have passion for it too. If that's where I wonder with the kids. Like right now, Frankie loves soccer. Kat, I think at this point is give or take, right? So we'll wait it out a couple more years and see where she's at. But because if you're not passionate about it, if you don't think it's fun, then
you're not going to do it.
It's hard to get excited and then spend the time. Now this podcast, we are dedicated. It's fun. So we're
Spending
we're gonna spending the time. That's it. And it takes time. I gotta do a little bit of prep, not much, but a little bit, I gotta edit it,
I think it's published. Fun, getting together, chatting a little bit, talking about the world events,
Exactly. Yeah. Well, because you don't get to do a guys' night all the time, and even when you do, you get distracted, other things going on, so you don't always get to talk about the things that you want to talk about.
Yeah, you're eating, drive time.
Yeah. Well, I'll go into guys' night being like, oh, there's so much stuff because we haven't. I was like, oh, we got to talk this. Then you get there and you're like, oh, we didn't talk about any of it.
Sidetracked on other stuff.
Yeah, this is a good way to do it. So, well, I guess Nilla ain't hopping back on. His phone probably died. It always does around recording time.
You have to buy him a charger.
Yep. I guess so. All right. Well, we'll
Happy
see
New Year.
Happy New Year, and we'll see you guys next week. And join the posse for our listeners. This is a great opportunity to join the posse. Be a part of
subscribe, baby.
The NFNP. Like and subscribe. That's right. All right. Adios, muchachos.
Later.
This number has been disconnected.